What is going on, everyone? Cat Gaming here, and we have another War of the Visions video. A little bit of news and a little bit of should you pull for the new unit? Should you pull for Hero King Mont? So let's take a little look-see-poo out of... I don't know why I said look-see-poo. But let's take a little look-see-poo. We're going to commit to the bit. At Hero King Mont and the news, yeah? So we got the news today, bright and early this morning, right? I did not want to do a video that early because I wanted to sleep, so we're doing it now. But I did want to talk about the unit a little more in depth. So, looks like we're getting Hero King Mont. I don't believe tomorrow, but the day after. He is a commander, so he does have a commander ability. So one of the things I wanted to mention about this is kind of the free-to-play side that I've been looking at with my new account, right? Especially being a light unit and having a great ability for light units and light parties. Now, this is a quest commander ability, so not really for the PvP mode, but I think very, very valuable for new player accounts to just clear content. It's a great commander ability, so it is activates at the beginning of battle, raises light unit allies attack/attack for 5 turns, and lowers AP consumption for 5 turns. Now, if you watched one of my last videos, I talked about how light is probably the best free-to-play and new player element to pick up and build. There are just a lot of really great light slashing units, and King Mont will just slot really, really nicely into that kind of account. So, on my free-to-play account, I went for X-Death last week, got his card, and got pretty lucky. We got him in one pull. We spent 1,000 viz to get X-Death, and then whatever we didn't spend, we could put towards shards and such, right? So we do have Vizior left over, and we still have more to farm from the game. So originally, I was considering skipping this because Mont is a non-limited unit, so you can pick him up whenever, but he is going to be a great unit to have. And the other thing I want to say, with free-to-play accounts specifically, right, it is kind of a trudge, right? It is, we gotta think about the long haul here. You're not gonna really be topping out the PvP arena or class matches or anything like that if you're completely free to play. It takes time to kind of build up an account to get to a good enough power level, and I think this is one of the units that will help you get there, especially if you've been building some of the most recent ones. Like, if you started when Yuna was still available, I think you've already got a solid start to a team. And then, you know, Bart's is free right now, so you can build Bart's. If you were playing when Thancred was around, Thancred's there. There's Lucio that you can get from free in the game. There are so many great light units that can take advantage of this. You know, so we'll talk about some sample teams that seem to be popular in the meta that won't really be possible for a new player. But if you've been playing for a while, then maybe it will be possible for you. Anyway, so that commander ability looks nice for light PvE type things, right? Then his limit burst. He deals XL damage to targets within range, chance of inflicting immobilize, and it's on the limit break, so there should be a 67% chance at base. Not calculating any resistances or anything like that. Bestows distance-based damage reduction effect from 2 panels away and beyond, a max effect of 5 panels. So he has that kind of honeycomb effect on him. And then he's got a lot of damage mitigation in his kit, so he's going to be a solid tank. And then the other ability that they note here is Valiant Spiker, which is a new mechanic in the game, which is pretty cool. So he can increase his chance of being targeted, recovers a set amount of HP when HP falls below 50%, and bestows Spiker that reduces the physical damage and reflects a portion of the damage back to the attacker, and this is up for 4 times. and bestows damage reduction for 4 turns, and increases accuracy and debuff reduction rate for 4 turns. So this buff is stacked, right? So what's really, really cool here, the new mechanic is we have had Reflect in the game that reflects magic damage, but now we have a physical Reflect, which is kind of cool. So kind of cool to help break some courage. Really good at like hitting evasive units, right? If something hits you, it's gonna, and that's up, it's gonna take damage, right? So it'll be really good into evasion, and he is a very accurate unit to begin with, or can be built to be very, very accurate, right? And then just the normal stuff like, you know, half time in the barracks, and then triple quest up campaign for his shards and the hard quests. Then of course the general shop buffs and everything, Chocobo expeditions, JP bonus, that stuff. Then we have the Lunar New Year campaign. For login bonuses, you're gonna get shards per Mont, you're gonna get summon tickets, you're gonna get Visior, all the good stuff. So it's just like the normal type thing. And then the other thing that's in here is there is a limited time Visior bonus consumption campaign, or Visior consumption bonus campaign. That would be going for almost a month, from the 6th to the 4th, right? And then basically for all these benchmarks, you will get bonuses. So if you spend 150,000 Visior, you will get all of these prizes, but that prize at the end is 1,000 Transcendent Mind Spheres. Now, it's nice. I wouldn't go chasing this. I wouldn't go trying to spend this much. And honestly, it'll be interesting to see what point I get to on my premium account, because I don't really track all the time how much Visior I'm spending. But listen, if you have to pity 4 units in the next 4 weeks and you're going to max, that's about 40k per unit, right? Just pulling, if you have to pity everything. In 4 weeks, that's 160k. So, you know, if you are really bad and with your luck and you have to pity everything and you go to maximum, then yeah, you'll get all these things. So I think it's a nice little bonus. I wish maybe it was a little longer so we could really take advantage of it. For our free-to-play friends, this is not really going to be something that you're able to maximize, but you'll get some rewards, and there might be some nice things in here. Look, listen, there's rainbow fragments and vision spheres and things like that I know people often need, right? And then we get some tickets and stuff, so you'll get some nice stuff. So that'll be fun. Hopefully they do more of that type of campaign. It looks really nice. We need some more give back and rewards. And then just talking about story updates, training quest for King Mont, his new weapon, which should be the best in slot for him other than the reliquary weapon, the Save the Queen, which I still have to finish building, by the way. And then some Grand Arena, Guild Battle, and map updates. So there's a Guild Battle map change for Fire, Light, and Dark units. Of course, X-Death, King Mont, and Gilgamesh, and Greatsword, Spear, and Staff. So they'll get some buffs there on Snowy Mountains 6. And then Grand Arena is back, so you can get more recipes for the UR Equipment Bejeweled Telescope, and you can earn some unique titles from placing high in the arena mock battle. Let's see, does it say what the gimmick is this time? So it looks like Bamboo Grove 5 for the map. Greatsword, Staff, and Spear will get a buff. These are the titles, right? Let's see. And then the bonus units. Unless I'm blind, I'm not seeing what the special thing is in terms of composition, party composition. But listen, X-Death and Hero King Mont will be the maximum bonus, and then X-Death's card, and then the Duet of Katana and Staff card, which if you're not sure what that is, that you can pick up in the Veritas shops with Veritas medals, for specifically the Water Veritas and the Ice Veritas, right? So you buy that, is free to build. You just gotta farm those medals, right? From doing arena. From doing arena. End remark. Period. Okay, so formation rules for Grand Arena. Embark with 4-slot formation. So we get a 4-man team this time. You can embark with a maximum of 4 slots filled, such as with units or vision cards. Oh, never mind. 4 slots filled. So units or vision cards. The embark with 4-slot formation rule applies to all days of the mock battle and main battle period. Other specifications for Grand Arena are as follows. You can restore 2 times per day. There are no winning streak bonuses, and rates are not based on the difference in points between you and your selected opponent, right? So there's no multiplier. Interesting. Okay, that'll be interesting, right? You'll still get medals and things like that for completing your arenas for the day. Yeah? So that'll be really, really interesting to see. So what do? Do you go with 3 units and an Esper? Do you go with 2 units, 2 Espers? Do you go with 1 unit, an Esper, and 2 vision cards, right? Because you could totally just one-man it. I'm interested to see what, I can't say that word right now, apparently. I'm interested to see what people come up with. So that'll be fun to play with. We do get that mock period to kind of play around with it. So that'll be fun. That'll be fun. And then just classifications of jobs. So they're basically just adding King Mont into the Great Sword subcategory, right? His job is Dawn Lion Monarch. Okay? Cool. I didn't show any of that in the news. I had this screen up, so there you go, right here. So if you want to just see what I was talking about before, this was Mont, right? His ability, but I read it for you. You can trust me. Anyway, so I did want to just talk about his kit a little bit and why I think he is such a good get. So he's going to be a super good tanky greatsword unit. He does have the highest HP base in the game. Some good things to note is that he is very kind of a tunable. He's got an agility passive and a move and jump support, like so he can tune up his move and his jump. +1. He's got a great TMR that is heavy armor, so mostly going to be used for a tank, but the ability on it gives defense 30, unit attack resistance 25, and an HP regen. So that's really nice. He also is 50% resistant to curse just innately. So you could throw on a curse resistance passive on a Trust Stone and get him basically to be immune to curse, essentially, or close to. And then he also has 10% berserk resistance and 50% stun resistance, which is nice against the evade girls, right? Because Riku's got that berserk, Venera's got that stun. And then his commander ability, we already talked a little bit about. Again, it's right here. I just didn't show it before on the screen because we were looking at Mont. We've got, what's it? For quests for light unit allies, attack and slash attack up for 5 turns, lowers AP consumption. I think this is great for light chaining teams and just light accounts or free-to-play accounts that are taking advantage of light slash teams to get through some PvE content. You can just plow through. Some really great things. So his 140 upgrade also gives him magic reduction. He reduces magic damage taken by 15%. He gets reaction block rate up, crit evade up, and then he gets a buff to one of his abilities, one of his self buffs that gives a little group buff as well. His first passive, his main passive that you're gonna always want on him, gives him innate hate, initial AP up, reduces physical damage by 12%, and applies a force barrier. So he's got that kind of aura, right? That honeycomb barrier for range height. The range going from 3 to 6 spaces away. Then he's got, and that's general damage, right? Then he's got 4 on-hit effects, right? He can dispel physical damage and magical damage, dispels haste, and lowers type chain resistance. And that's always active, yeah? So that's always, anytime he hits, that's gonna happen. So that's pretty cool for a passive ability. His other notable ability gives him move +1 and agility +12%. So that's a nice one. And then, of course, you can tune that depending on your team. You can either equip that or not. Of course, he has other things from his other sub-jobs. He has Dragoon sub-job and Nightblade sub-job with the typical passives on that. And then probably his best reaction is a chance to reduce missile and slash damage incoming. There's a 70% chance to do that, so that's always nice, especially that slash. Slash is the most common weapon type attack in the game, right? We looked at his limit break before. It does XL damage, chance to inflict immobilize, and bestows a distance-based damage reduction effect from 2 panels away, and that will stack with his passive barrier as well, right? Yeah. All right, and then his first major buff in his kit, it gives him slash and missile resistance, and then what do my notes say? Can I read my handwriting? Oh, courage removal. And then before dealing damage, he removes courage. So he's got a courage removal there. And he sets up an aura around himself, reducing physical damage taken by 40% and slash damage, slash resistance up 25%. And this aura is a range of 4 and a height range of 1. So units within 4 spaces of him will take advantage of that aura. That's pretty cool. His other buff is a 4-turn spike. So we talked about that spike buff before, that it reflects physical damage. So that's a 4-turn buff. It also reduces damage taken by 50%. Yes. He gets hate up, and then HP auto heal back below 50%, and reduces all damage taken as well. And then also increases his debuff weakening, right? So he's more resistant to debuff weakening, yeah? So that's pretty cool. He has a lot of damage mitigation in his kit. Then some of his most notable abilities, his attacks, he's got an AoE attack that lowers luck. So he's got a luck imperil, which is the first of the game. That's pretty cool. So he'll be really, really good into the evasion teams. And this same ability does not friendly fire, right? So he won't hit his own teammates using this ability, so you don't have to worry about positioning too much with it. And it lowers luck before it hits, so that will affect evade and crit and accuracy and all the things, right? And then his second most notable ability is also an AoE, and it has a light imperil, so he's going to be great into light teams. His third ability is a physical barrier break. And he lowers the reaction proc rate. It is a 2-hit ability, and he lowers healing power with that. The further we get into this game, the newer units, they get just crazy with the abilities. Everything does so many things. It's insane. His main job sub-job has a sure hit ability, and then a group buff that gives type chain resistance up and nullifies blind, poison, paralysis, and disable. So that's pretty cool. Otherwise, his sub-jobs are Dragoon, which has the typical stuff in there, a movement and jump up ability, some of those piercing moves, and then he has Nightblade as well, which, I mean, I think his main job sub-job will probably be the best, but the sub-jobs give some nice passive abilities that we can potentially swap in there, yeah? And then his vision card that will come the following week, it's used by greatsword, bow, gun, and dagger ninja jobs. It's looking pretty good. It gives unit resistance up 24% or 24, magic resistance up 16, and then attack 50%. And then it also has a bestowed effect of giving AoE resistance penetration up 20 to the wearer and max HP up 10% to the wearer. So yeah, his kit is looking insane. Again, it's looking really, really good for light teams, light/slash teams. He's going to be a solid tank. He could probably be run with so many things. It's really, you just need to look at that vision card synergy, right? So just some sample teams to see if maybe he he's good for you. Do you pull him right away, or do you kind of wait to get him? I'm going to pull him on my premium for sure, and then I think I'm going to go for him on my free-to-play account too. I think I could use the power spike. He's just going to be a great unit. Still building X-Death as well. I just got to build stuff, you know? We just need it to come through. So some sample teams, if you have Yuna and Cloud from the Advent Children collaboration a while back, that's going to be like one of the most popular teams. And then even with that, if you pulled some of those Final Fantasy XIV vision cards that were earlier in the month, there's going to be some nice effects that go in there, especially to help him be more tanky against magic damage. Yeah. Some other ideas, you could pair Cloud Advent Children with Dark Veritas and King Mont. You could do King Mont, Jaden, and the new Jaden and Yuna, because you could do Great Sword and Gunners. You just maybe lose a little bit of synergy with the VCs with using Jaden. It seems like the best loadout, you kind of lose AoE resistance on King Mont if you're trying to get Jaden to be powerful. Otherwise, you can use Shreka and Luciel to hunt some evade. You could use Exia and Luciel to have a lot of sustain with King Mont. Or you could even pair King Mont with Riku and Venera, and he can protect the evade girls, you know? But definitely looking like really, really solid in a mono light team and with other great sword users. Maybe if you don't have King Mont, you can try maybe like Luciel or something. Not Luciel, Elsorel. Very, very similar phonetically sounding name. Elsorel. You could try some, like maybe Elsorel, even though she's a little dated. But if you've got a newer account, maybe that's the way you have to go. But he's got really, really great VC support, vision card support. There's a lot of great sword cards that pair really, really nicely with the warrior sword group, as well as the bow and gun group. So there's a lot of great crossover there. He'll be able to plug into a lot of different teams with a lot of other great units. He's going to be really, really good against physical teams for sure, and he won't be too bad into Magic. If you've got the right vision cards and the right setup, he can do pretty well into Magic. He does get that 140 upgrade to help with his Magic mitigation a little bit. And then just upon coming in, if we get what JP got, apparently they had a 1K paid banner that he'll be on. That was pretty good. And then the other highlight was that there was a 27-day daily free 10-pull banner that had him on it. So if we get that, that'll be really, really nice. So if you want to kind of hold out, not spend your viz right away, and see if you get lucky, you could totally go for that. I don't know what I'm going to do yet on my free-to-play. On my main, 100% I'm going to go pull for him absolutely right away. But even if you do decide to pull for King Mont right away, and we do get that free daily banner, if you do get lucky and pull him, which you might not, it's a gamble, of course, and you do pull dupes of him, that's shards, so it's not a loss if you go for him right away. But just make the decision that makes the most sense for your account. I think he is a great get, even though he is non-limited. And that's the thing, too. Remember, he is not a limited character. So if you're really trying to save... I mean, again, we don't really know what the next collaboration is yet. But I think of what's coming out, he seems to be one of the best new things to grab. Definitely going to shift things in the meta. And I think he'll be a really, really, really good boost to any new account, really any account, but especially to new player accounts. I think he's just really, really versatile, and I think he's going to be, I think he's going to be great. I'm really excited to get my hands on him. Anyway, so that was just a little look-see into what we're getting this coming week with Hero King Mont. Let me know what your plans are. Are you pulling for King Mont? Are you waiting? Are you holding out? Are you trying to get lucky and pick him up later? My one thing to say is if you want to use him right away, with any unit, the easiest time to build them is when they first come out, because they have the bingo board available. You're getting those login bonuses, usually getting shards and stuff like that. And of course, if you do use paid viz, you can do that daily purchase bonus and grab some things. But you know, it's usually the easiest to get them because we also have that shard bonus in the barracks and things like that. You know, you can farm shards in expeditions and stuff. But if you want to hold off, he is not limited. So he will be in the general pool at some point. You will eventually get him if you hold off. But he's definitely going to have the most impact right away. So do with that information what you will. I'm personally pulling for him. Let me know your plans. I'm really, really excited. But if you're not pulling for him, let me know who you're trying to save for, yeah? Anyway, this has been fun. I will see you next time. Peace.